Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Sanghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Friends, tonight we are going to discuss, understand another very important discourse of the Buddha. This is the discourse number 140 from the middle-length teachings of the Buddha, Majjhima Nikaya. The name of the discourse is the exposition of the elements. In order to understand this better, we have the topic tonight. The topic is how to become a sage at peace. Muni Santa, sage at peace. How to become a sage at peace. Friends, in the time of the Buddha, there was a king named Pukkusati. He abdicated his throne and wanted to understand the Dhamma. He wanted to see the Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha. With this, he stepped down and he went on seeking the triple gem. He was a contemporary king of King Bimbisara in India. That was in the 6th century BCE. As he went on and on walking, he went through many difficulties, crossing the rivers, streams, going through many difficulties, went alone, crossing the woods, streams, rivers. Finally, he came to the city of Magadha, where the Buddha lived, but he did not know that the Buddha was dwelling there. When he came to that city of Magadha, it was evening. Then he went to a potter's place, a potter who makes pots, the potter named Bhaggava. He went there and asked his permission to stay the night at potter's workshop. Then he was allowed to stay in that place. Then he went into the workshop and spread in some hay, some grasses. He sat cross-legged and started to practice meditation at night. When he was practicing there, by the time the Buddha himself, as Buddha was dwelling in that particular city, Magadha city, Buddha was in his evening walk and talk with the people. Buddha went to some distance, and as it was dark, getting dark, the Buddha decided that it is not time enough for him to going back to the monastery. So he himself decided to go to this potter Bhagava's place. And Buddha wanted to stay overnight at the same place. Then the Buddha said, addressing Bhagava, the potter, Buddha said, if it is not inconvenient for you, Bhagava, I will stay one night in your workshop. Then he said, it is not inconvenient for me, Venerable Sir, but there is a homeless one already staying there. That means the person who came earlier was Pukkusati. He was there practicing. And Bhagava said, if he agrees, then stay as long as you like, Venerable Sir. Now, by this time, the man, he himself was a bhikkhu. He got his ordination with the abdication of his throne. He got his robe and he came all the way to this place. But he did not know that the Buddha was dwelling in that particular city. However, he wanted to see the Buddha and understand the Dhamma. That is why he came here, this area. Now there was a clansman named Pukkusati who had gone forth from the home life into homelessness out of faith in the Blessed One. It was in the Buddha's name he went forth. He became a monk in the name of the Buddha. And on that occasion he was already staying there in the potter's workshop. Then the Blessed One went to the Venerable Pukkusati and said to him, if it is not inconvenient for you, Bhikkhu, I will stay one night in the workshop. The Buddha told this to him. The potter's workshop is large enough, friend. That is what Pukkusati said. Let the Venerable One stay as long as he likes. Then the Blessed One entered the potter's workshop, prepared a spread of grass at one end, and sat down, folding his legs crosswise, setting his body erect and establishing mindfulness in front of him. That is what we do. That is what we did today. Meditation. Mindfulness of breathing. Then the Blessed One spent most of the night seated in meditation, and the Venerable Pukkusati also spent most of night seated in meditation. So they both sat there, spread some grasses there in the hut, in that workshop, the potter's workshop, and they both started practicing meditation. Then the Blessed One thought, after a while, the Buddha thought, this clansman conducts himself in a way that inspires confidence. Suppose I were to question him. Buddha wanted to question him. So he asked the Venerable Pukkusati. Now Buddha questions. Under whom have you gone forth, Bhikkhu? Who is your teacher? Whose Dhamma do you profess? Then he said, Pukkusati said, friend, there is the recluse Gautama, the son of the Sakyans, who went forth from a Sakyan clan. Now a good report of that blessed Gautama has been spread to this effect. That blessed one is accomplished, fully enlightened, perfect in true knowledge and conduct, sublime, knower of worlds, incomparable leader of persons to be tamed, teacher of gods and humans, enlightened, blessed. Those are the qualities of the Buddha. You know, there are 9 great virtues of the Buddha. That is the word spread all over. People, wherever they met, they talk about these qualities of the Buddha. I have gone forth under that blessed one. That is what he said. He has gone forth under the Buddha's name. That blessed one is my teacher. See? He says this to whom? To the Buddha. But he does not know. He could not recognize the Buddha. He says, I went forth under the blessed one. That blessed one is my teacher. I profess the Dhamma of that blessed one. But Buddha asked further, but Bhikkhu, where is that blessed one? Accomplished and fully enlightened, now living. Where is he living? He said, there is, friend, a city in the northern country named Savatthi. Now, this is what he is now in the city of Magadha. He did not know that Buddha is living in this place because he has heard that the Buddha was dwelling at the place called Savatthi, another distant city. That is what he said. A city in the northern country named Savatthi. The Blessed One, accomplished and fully enlightened, is now living there. Then the Buddha questioned, but Bhikkhu, have you ever seen that Blessed One before? Could you recognize him if you saw him? He said, no, friend. I have never seen that Blessed One before. Nor would I recognize him if I saw him. Then the Blessed One thought, this clansman has gone forth from the home life into homelessness under me. Suppose I were to teach him the Dhamma. So the Blessed One addressed the Venerable Pukkusati thus, Bhikkhu, I will teach you the Dhamma. Listen and attend closely to what I shall say. Yes, friend. Yes, friend. You see, that is how he addressed the Buddha. Yes, friend. Because he did not know that he was the Buddha. The Venerable Pukkusati replied, the Blessed One said this. Now the Buddha is going to teach him how to become a sage at peace. In order to teach him this, the Buddha taught him the exposition of elements. This is the Dhamma. Now from here we understand the real words of the Buddha, the Dhamma, because Buddha is going to teach him the Dhamma now. Addressing Pukkusati, Buddha says, Bhikkhu, this person consists of 6 elements, 6 bases of contact, and 18 kinds of mental exploration, and he has 4 foundations. The tides of conceiving do not sweep over one who stands upon these foundations. And when the tides of conceiving no longer sweep over him, he is called a sage at peace. That is in summary. That is the gist of the sutta. One should not neglect wisdom, should preserve truth, should cultivate relinquishment, and should train for peace. This is the summary of the exposition of the 6 elements. That's the summary. That's the gist of the sutta. Then, in short, now the Buddha explained this. What are the things to be explained? 6 elements. We have to understand the 6 elements. Then 6 bases of contact. Then the 18 kinds of mental exploration. And then 4 foundations. These are the things to be understood. Now the Buddha explains him the 6 elements. Bhikkhu, this person, this so-called man or woman, this person consists of 6 elements. So it was said, and with reference to what was this said, they are the earth elements. These are the 6 elements. Earth elements, the water elements, the fire element, the air element, the space element, and the consciousness element. Those are the 6 elements. Now, the 6 bases of contact. What are the 6 senses? 6 bases of contact. The base of eye contact, the base of ear contact, the base of nose contact, the base of tongue contact, the base of body contact, and the base of mind contact. 6 senses. 6 senses. In the 6 senses, there is contact. Those 6 are the 6 types of 6 classes of contact. Then Bhikkhu, then the Buddha said, what are the 18 kinds of mental explorations? 18 kinds of mental explorations. On seeing a form with the eye, one explores a form productive of joy. One explores a form productive of grief. One explores a form productive of equanimity. That is to be understood clearly. When we see the object, what happens? We feel there are 3 types of feeling: pleasant feeling, painful feeling, neither painful nor pleasant feeling. Those are the 3. So through the eye, when you see the object, there arises joy. Here it is said, there arises joy, productive of joy, means that. Then there arises grief, either joy or grief or equanimity. These are the 3 places. So through the eye, there are 3 places where there is mental exploration. That means our mind, our consciousness is exploring these 3 different places: joy, grief, or equanimity. Not only through the eye, to the ear, to the nose, to the tongue, to the body, and through the mind. So 6 different places and 3 different kinds of mental exploration. So 3 in 1. 3 multiplied by 6, there are 18. That is how the 18 kinds of mental explorations take place. Then the Buddha said, Buddha explained the 4 foundations. The 4 foundations. What are the 4 foundations? The foundation of wisdom, the foundation of truth, the foundation of relinquishment, and the foundation of peace. These are the 4 foundations. One should not neglect wisdom, should preserve truth, should cultivate relinquishment, and should train peace. There are these 6 elements: the earth element, the water element, the fire element, the air element, the space element, and the consciousness element. Those are referring to elements. Now, what bhikkhu is the earth element? Now the Buddha explained this. That is the exploration, exposition, description. The earth element may be either internal or external. Basically, 2 kinds of earth elements, internal and external. What is the internal earth element? Whatever internally belonging to oneself is solid, whatever solid, solidified and clung to, that is head hairs, body hairs, nails, teeth, skin, flesh, sinews, bones, bone marrow, kidneys, heart, liver, diaphragm, spleen, lungs, large intestines, small intestines, contents of the stomach, feces, or whatever else internally belonging to oneself is solid, solidified and clung to. This is called the internal earth element. Now, both the internal earth element and the external earth element are simply earth element. And that should be seen at it as it actually is, with proper wisdom thus. Now internally all these things are within us. There are 32 parts. This is the Buddha's classification, Buddha's categorization of the person. These are what you call the earth element, internal. External are the 4 elements: earth, water, fire and air. Those are the external things. All external things, all material, whatever you call matter, all things are composed with the 4 elements externally. Internally, these 32 are formed with the 4 elements. That is why they are called internal or external elements, form earth elements. All these are the earth elements. Now, Buddha said, what is the purpose? What is the purpose of this category? What is the purpose of this analysis? The Buddha said, one has to see this properly, actually, as they really are. How to see things as they really are? When you see the object if you can understand that this is not mine, this I am not, this is not myself. That is the way to see. If you see in such a way, you see reality. You see it as it actually is. Here it is said, when one sees it thus as it actually is, with proper wisdom, in order to see this as they are, you have to have a proper wisdom. One becomes disenchanted. You don't cling to. Instead, you become disenchanted with the earth element, and makes the mind dispassionate As the result of this enchantment, you experience what is called dispassionate. Then dispassion. Dispassion towards the earth element. Then the water element. What are the things? Water element. The water element may be either internal or external. Water element the same. What is the internal water element? Whatever internally belonging to oneself is water, watery, and clung to. That is bile, phlegm, pus, blood, sweat, fat, tears, grease, spittle, snot, oil of the joints, urine. All these are what you call watery. Whatever watery, whatever internally, anything watery belonging to oneself is watery and clung to. This is called the internal water element. So those water elements, also whatever water elements, to be seen properly with proper wisdom. How to see? This is not mine, this I am not, this is not myself. That's how to see. When one sees it thus, it actually is with proper wisdom, one becomes disenchanted with the water element and makes the mind dispassionate towards the water element. Then fire element. In this body, there are different types of fire. Heat. Whatever internally belongs to oneself is fiery, and clung to. That is that by which one is warmed up. One is warmed up because of heat inside. One ages and is consumed. Whatever we take, it is consumed because of this heat inside, and that by which one is eaten, drunk, consumed, and tasted, gets completed, digested. Whatever else internally belonging to oneself is fiery, and clung to. This is called the internal fire element. So that fire element also to be seen as they really are. That is to, like, this is not mine individually. If you take separately, one by one, understand it. This is not mine. This I am not. This is not myself. That is the way to see things as they really are. If you see things as they really are, you see in this manner. Then the air element. Whatever internally belonging to oneself is air, airy, and clung to. This is upgoing winds. There are 6 types of winds inside us. There are 6 types of wind. What are those 6? Upgoing winds, downgoing winds, winds in the belly, winds in the balls, winds that course through the limbs, in-breath and out-breath. Those are the 6. Or whatever else internally belonging to oneself is air, airy, and clung to. This is called the internal air element. That air element also to be seen as this is not mine, this I am not, this is not myself. That is how we have to contemplate on this. We have to give attention and understand the internal elements or external element. There's nothing to grasp as mine, me, I'm. Me means I'm, or myself. There's nothing. That is why the Buddha said, Netang mama Neso hamasmi, neso me atta in Pali. Now we come to the space element. The space element may be either internal or external. What is the internal space element? Whatever internally belonging to oneself is spatial and clung to. That is the holes of the ears. These are the space element. Holes of the ears, the nostrils, the door of the mouth, and that aperture whereby what is eaten, drunk, consumed, and tasted gets swallowed, and where it collects and whereby it is excreted from below, or whatever else internally belonging to oneself is spatial and clung to. This is called the space element. How to be seen? This is not mine. This I am not. This is not myself. That's the way to see. When one sees it thus as it actually is, with proper wisdom, one becomes disenchanted with the space element and makes their mind dispassionate towards the space element too. Then there remains only consciousness, purified and bright. Now the consciousness. You did all this with your consciousness. As you are mindful, you are very well. Now you have developed mind, purified, bright mind. Mind is bright and conscious. This consciousness, bright consciousness. One with that consciousness, one cognizes this is pleasant. One cognizes this is painful. One cognizes this is neither painful nor pleasant. That means you can understand feeling, different types of feelings. In independence on a contact to be felt as pleasant, there arises pleasant feeling. When one feels a pleasant feeling, one understands, I feel a pleasant feeling. Then one understands a painful feeling and neither painful nor pleasant feeling as well. That is to be understood with proper wisdom. With the cessation of that same contact, to be felt as neither painful nor pleasant, corresponding feeling, whatever the feeling, he understands the arising of feeling and cessation of feeling. Then there remains only equanimity, purified and bright. Now the mind is equanimous mind, which is purified and bright, which is malleable mind, malleable equanimity, malleable, wieldy, and radiant mind. Suppose Bhikkhu, a skilled goldsmith, Buddha gives a simile here. Suppose Bhikkhu, a skilled goldsmith or his apprentice were to prepare a furnace, heat up the crucible, take some gold with tongs and put it into the crucible. From time to time he would blow on it. From time to time he would sprinkle water over it. And from time to time he would just look on. That gold would become refined, well refined, completely refined, faultless, rid of dross, malleable, wieldy, and radiant. Then whatever kind of ornament he wished to make from it, whether a golden chain or earring or a necklace or a golden garland, it would serve his purpose. Because now the gold is pure gold, radiant, malleable, wieldy gold. So too, the Buddha says, so too, bhikkhu. Then there remains only equanimity, purified and bright, malleable, wieldy, and radiant. He understands thus, if I were to direct this equanimity, so purified and bright, to the base of infinite space and to develop my mind accordingly. Now he thinks, as he has a very well equanimous mind, purified equanimity. Now he wants to direct this to the base of infinite space, Akasananchayatana, the state of Akasananchayatana. It is the immaterial jhanic state. He wants to develop now this infinite space and to develop my mind accordingly. Then he directs his mind to that. If he were to direct this equanimity so purified and bright to the base of infinite consciousness, the base of, then he wants to direct this to infinite consciousness, Vijnananchayatana. Then he wants to direct this to the base of nothingness, Akinchanyayatana. Then he wants to direct to the base of neither perception nor non-perception, Neva Sanya, Nasanyayatana. All these are different attainments. There are 8 attainments according to the 8 states of jhana. Material jhana and immaterial jhana. And then he does not form any condition or generate any volition tending towards either being or non-being. Since he does not form any condition or generate any volition tending towards either being or non-being, he does not cling to anything in the world. When he does not cling, he is not agitated. Since he is not clinging to, he is not agitated. When he is not agitated, he personally attains Nibbana. He understands thus, birth is destroyed, Kina Jati. The holy life has been lived. Lived the holy life means he has followed the followed the eightfold path. Holy life means following the noble eightfold path. What had to be done has been done. There is no more coming to any state of being. Means he attains the arahanthood. He then understands. He feels a pleasant feeling. He understands it is impermanent. Then he feels a painful feeling. He understands it is impermanent. If he feels a neither painful nor pleasant feeling, he then understands it is impermanent. If he feels pleasant feeling, he feels it detached. It's detached. Nothing to attach. Detached, but detached. Painful feeling, it's detached. Then neither painful nor pleasant is detached. When he feels a feeling terminating with the body, he understands I feel a feeling terminating with the body. When he feels a feeling terminating with life, he understands I feel a feeling terminating with life. He understands on the dissolution of the body, with the ending of life, all that is felt not being delighted in will become cool right here, means enlightened one. Therefore, a bhikkhu possessing this wisdom, possessing the supreme foundation of wisdom, for this bhikkhu is the supreme noble wisdom, namely the knowledge of the destruction of all suffering. That is the knowledge invented by the Buddha. It's of course it is a rediscovery, because earlier Buddhas also had the same thing. This is the peculiar in the teaching of the Buddha, peculiar knowledge in the teaching of the Buddha, the knowledge of the destruction of all suffering. His deliverance being founded upon truth, this unshakable, for that is false bhikkhu, which has a deceptive nature, and that is true, which has an undeceptive nature. Undeceptive nature is Nibbana. Now, therefore, bhikkhu possessing this truth, possessing the supreme foundation of truth, for this bhikkhu is the supreme noble truth, namely Nibbana, which has an undeceptive nature. Formerly, when he was ignorant, he acquired and developed attachments. Now he has abandoned them, cut them off at the root, made them like a farm stump, done away with them, so that they are no longer subject to future arising. Therefore, a bhikkhu possessing this relinquishment, possessing the supreme foundation of relinquishment, for this bhikkhu is the supreme noble relinquishment, namely the relinquishment of all attachment. Relinquishment here means relinquishment of attachment, not material things, material stuff. Formerly, when he was ignorant, he experienced covetousness, desire and lust. Now he has abandoned them, cut them off at the root, made them like a farm stump, done away with them, so that they are no longer subject to future arising. Formerly, when he was ignorant, he experienced anger, ill will and hate. Now he has abandoned them, cut them off at the root. So now his mind is purified. It was with reference to this that it was said one should not neglect wisdom, should preserve truth, should cultivate relinquishment, and should train for peace. These are the four foundations here, according to this sutta. Four foundations. What are the four? Again, wisdom, truth, relinquishment, and peace. Wisdom, truth, relinquishment, and truth. These are the four foundations to be developed. The tide of conceiving do not sweep over one who stands upon these foundations. And when the tides of conceiving no longer sweep over him, he is called a sage at peace. What is that? Conceiving, mana. If he has completely cut off mana with this, he or she becomes a sage at peace. Now, at the end of this discourse, Venerable Pukkusati understood. He realized, oh, this is definitely the Buddha right in front of me now. He realized that. Then it is said, thereupon the Venerable Pukkusati thought, indeed, the teacher has come to me. The sublime one has come to me. The fully enlightened one has come to me. Then he rose from his seat, arranged his upper robe over one shoulder, and prostrating himself with his head at the Blessed One's feet, he said, Venerable Sir, a transgression overcame me, in that like a fool, confused and blundering, I presumed to address the Blessed One as friend. Venerable Sir, may the Blessed One forgive my transgression, seen as such for the sake of restraint in the future. Buddha said, surely, Bhikkhu, a transgression overcame you, in that like a fool, confused and blundering, you presume to address me as friend. But since you see your transgression as such and make amends in accordance with the Dhamma, we forgive you. We forgive you. You see, Buddha rarely used the word I. Buddha didn't say, I forgive you. Buddha said, we forgive you. That means Buddha forgives. For it is growth in the noble one's discipline when one sees one's transgression as such, makes amends in accordance with the Dhamma, and undertakes restraint in the future. That's the way. In the discipline of the Buddha, one after committing any offense, doing anything wrong, if you can forgive, if you can amend it in accordance with the Dhamma, it's the way. Buddha said, it's the way in the discipline of the Buddha. For it is growth in the noble one's discipline when one sees one's transgression as such, makes amends in accordance with the Dhamma, and undertakes restraint in the future. Venerable Sir, now he says, Pukkusati says, Venerable Sir, I would receive the full admission under the Blessed One. He wants to get the full admission. He wants to become a disciple of the Buddha. Buddha asks, but are you bowl and robes complete, Bhikkhu? That's another thing. In the sasana, in this dispensation, if anyone wants to become a monk or nun, one has to have the bowl, the begin bowl and robes. The Buddha inquired whether he has the bowl and robe. Venerable Sir, my bowl and robes are not complete, he said. Bhikkhu, Tathagatas do not give the full admission. Full admission means upasampada. Full admission to anyone whose bowl and robes are not complete. This is not for the ordination, but full ordination, higher ordination, upasampada. Whoever is going to receive higher ordination, he or she should have the bowl and robes. Then the Venerable Pukkusati, having delighted and rejoiced in the Blessed One's words, rose from his seat, and after paying homage to the Blessed One, keeping him on his right, he departed in order to search for a bowl and robes. Then, while the Venerable Pukkusati was searching for a bowl and robes, a stray cow killed him. Then a number of bhikkhus went to the Blessed One, and after paying homage to him, they sat down at one side and told him, Venerable Sir, the clansman Pukusati, who was given brief instruction by the Blessed One, has died. What is his destination? What is his future course? The monks asked. The Buddha said, Bhikkhus, the clansman Pukusati was wise. He practiced in accordance with the Dhamma and did not trouble me in the interpretation of the Dhamma. With the destruction of the 5 lower fetters, the clansman Pukusati has reappeared spontaneously in the pure abodes and will attain final Nibbana there without ever returning from that world. That is what the Blessed One said. The bhikkhus were satisfied and delighted in the Blessed One's words. This is the discourse. This is how the Buddha delivered this discourse. Friends, let's all understand these wonderful teachings of the Buddha. There are a lot of things to understand, bit by bit, day by day, moment by moment, hour by hour, day by day. Let's study this Dhamma, practice accordingly so that we can experience this Dhamma here in this very world. We can understand, realize this Dhamma, realize real peace, real happiness of Nibbana here in this very world. May we all attain that supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.